the Zen fan. It's time to debate something, to answer a question that has burned the lips and minds of many a person over these last few years. And that is often a question asked by female members of the gaming community, which is, why are guys always so keen to play as the female variant when they have a choice in a character creator? Like you see behind me, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I favour the female version of Eivor. Other people like to play FemShep, as it's known, the female version of Commander Shepard in Mass Effect. Or perhaps you played Skyrim and you chose a female human instead of a male human to be the Dragonborn. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, a lot of us out there like to play the opposite sex version to what we are. I'm sure there are a great many female gamers out there who will choose a male model to go into the world with. And some of their reasoning might be the same, and some of the reasoning I think might be different. For myself, as far as blokes go, I think it's fair to say that one of the main reasons that's usually touted is that a female character is usually smaller, therefore has a smaller hitbox, and is easier to not be hit, and so not hit makes, and it's just, generally seen just better tactically to be a female model gameplay character. Then there's also the other school that says, well, if you're going to be looking at a character for a long period of time, would you not rather look at something you find more aesthetically pleasing? Which then means obviously that if you are a lesbian, that you might prefer to have a female character, or even if you're a woman, you may just prefer to have a female character so you have some sense of self-representation. However, if you're a bloke, maybe you're a gay bloke, maybe you want to have the male version of Eivor or whatever, for that sense of self-representation, and also something nice to look at, because both versions of Eivor, aside from the facial scar arm, alright. But another thing, the main reason why I personally like to have a female version of the choice of character is generally because, one, that I find them easier to listen to when they're talking and explaining stuff and dialogue and having conversations. I find it easier to listen to a female voice doing that. And also, generally speaking, from my personal point of view, I think most of the time the outfits and the armors just look cooler, even when they're exactly the same, and the developers have not gone, ooh, the chest armor for a woman has got gigantic hooters on it, whilst the chest armor for a guy does actually look like it'll, defend against more damage and looks more like actual armor and not such a fancy piece. But when the developers actually get it right and make it look the same across both, it generally just, to my personal eye, my thinking, it just generally looks cooler on a female character that I've created. And there's another thing that comes in, and a lot of blokes in relationships you'll find this, where if we have the chance to completely customize the look of the female character, more often than not, we put our partner in the game. So if we're going to be spending hours and hours and hours, looking at something on the screen, we're putting someone on the screen that we care about, which I think is really kind of lovely. It's really positive. You're not ignoring your partner. Your partner's right there in front of you, more or less. So you're running about Skyrim, or you're running about the Milky Way galaxy, or you're running about Viking era England. well, not so much with Eivor. You can't really customize her head very much in her face at all. But you know, you get the drift. You know, when you've got a full character creator and you can really just go to town, like say with the Fallout games, like Fallout 4, especially Fallout 4, then you know you could be running about as your wife / girlfriend. And there's something I just kind of sweet about that, which is really, really positive. Then, of course, why would a female gamer use a male-based character? And I think the answer for that is quite simple. Because if you go into almost any chat, especially on a squad shooter game, then you'll find that the chat is pretty much a sausage fest. And if a woman who happens to accidentally leave her mic on, like say she was, you know, making content before or having a voice chat with one of our other pals, and she accidentally leaves her mic on and then goes and plays some Call of Duty, you know, or some Warzone or whatever, and then she says something to her, you know, like to someone else in their house, like could you get the door, I'm kind of trying to do this mission right now, or something, whatever the baby be. The second she opens her mouth and speaks, she's met with a million versions of, that's a woman, hey darling, and like, right, make me a sandwich, oh god. Depressing. There's no wonder so many women don't speak in the lobbies or in the game, because it's just not worth them to do it. Because instantly what they get is they either get chatted up, or they get sexual abuse, or just straight up abuse, you know? And it's just, guys, come on, seriously, gamer to gamers, alright? We need to evolve on this one, alright? Women play video games, deal with it. Okay? So, when you get right down to it, there's another good reason though. Actually, I just thought of this. There is another good reason why I'll play a female character, or why other guys will play a female character, and why some women will play a male character. Escape. Now, gaming is all about escape, is it not? We escape the world, we forget about our jobs and all the rest of it for a wee while. Well, we're in this other land, virtually speaking, you know, doing deeds we could never possibly do or even get away with. I mean, look at Grand Theft Auto. Could you get away with any of that? Of course not. So, we get to be someone else. And this is proven out when you look at a game like Stray. You're a cat. Now, it's never said whether the cat is male or female, but you're a cat. You are a feline, you know, you're this big, you know, and you're surrounded in a world of robots, you know, so you're removing yourself from your standardized reality, you know, or even go back to the 90s with platformers, you know, character-based platformers were all the rage. Even now, you know, it's like, get to play Ratchet and Clank. Are you a Lombax? No. Are you a Bandicoot? No. Are you an Italian plumber? No. But it is fun to inhabit that character vicariously through one of these. So yeah, that in essence I think is why some guys out there like to play female models in their video games. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, aye, nae bother.